what does a Biden administration mean for energy consumption in the U.S.? What does it mean for climate change and renewables?
What we read and what we see is that the next administration will put a strong emphasis on climate change. This will mean, in turn, pushing renewables, especially solar and wind, strongly, and also other clean energy technologies, ranging from carbon capture and storage to nuclear power. And I would expect that some regulations in terms of energy efficiency, methane emissions will be put in place in order to reduce U.S. emissions and as such the global emissions. But the big push I would expect, first of all, will come in the area of renewable energies, solar and wind, for which U.S. has a great potential similar to oil and gas.
But Fatih, when you look at renewable power, how dependent is it on the price of fossil fuel? So how dependent is it on the price of oil? Is it independent? So does the trend go no matter what? Or do we need to look at global demand, oil demand, the vaccine, to give us an indication of oil and therefore renewables?
I think the dependency between the oil prices and the renewables are not as strong as it was a few years ago. Renewables have their own dynamics now. For example, solar power today is the cheapest source of electricity generation in most parts of the world. It is the reason I have crowned solar as the new king of global electricity markets. If you look at just this year, Francine, just 2020, about half of the power plants built in the world are solar. Other 50%, everything else put together, coal, gas, nuclear, wind, 50%, solar alone 50%. Therefore, they are already themselves cost effective. And in the United States, there is already a strong potential, strong growth. But with the next administration's, new administration's policies, this can be even higher.
Fatih, does the Pfizer vaccine that we heard about yesterday change your outlook for 2021 oil demand?
Now, first of all, I should tell you that the day after tomorrow, we are releasing our oil market report, and I see two important trends and one question mark. One important trend is the second wave we are seeing in Europe and elsewhere in terms of the coronavirus second wave. The lockdown measures and in other countries as well puts downward pressure, further downward pressure on the demand, oil demand. Second, in some countries, production is increasing, coming from Libya and United States as well after the hurricanes are over. Both of them putting higher production, lower demand will give more pressure, downward pressure on the prices. If vaccine really proves to be feasible, sustainable, and it can be applied around the world, we may well see it gives a boost to oil demand, including the bleeding aviation sector. But if it proves to be a sustainable solution.
Fatih, I want to go to your engineering degree at Technical University of Istanbul. This is a few years ago. Fatih, can you explain to our worldwide audience how Turkey survives with this gross devaluation and their needs of oil? How does Turkey handle devaluation of the lira and oil?
So I left my home country almost 4 decades ago, but of course follow the developments there. My family is there, my friends are there. But what I see is that Turkey is going through very difficult times in terms of its economy, devaluation of the lira, and as such the Turkey's current deficit is becoming a major issue for the country. And as we all know, about 90% of the Turkish energy is met by energy imports, oil and gas. So therefore, it's a major challenge for the country in this difficult context.